think that is also a key area which we should, start looking out for, because that's where the future is, and that's where, with blockchain technology, you can't overemphasize how important role it plays in terms of, improved security. Then we have to start looking at open banking as well. Open banking is another thing, another area we also need to look at. That it also will drive um, payment systems, and it will drive the improvement of our payment system and financial technology as well. And lastly, for me, I feel we also have to start looking at our regulatory technology. How do we, bring in technology in our regulatory? Because of course, there has to be control. There has to be checks and balances. So to see how we can bring in, leverage technology in our regulations as we are going into the fast-paced world of AI, open banking, blockchain. Let's also start putting in frameworks in place for how we can advance our regulatory and compliance monitoring and advance it technologically, because that has to keep pace with, the other improvements or trends or innovations that I've actually mentioned. Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you. And finally, Ebenezer, what would be your rousing charge to every industry expert, stakeholder, when we're talking about the need to embrace speed, technology, work within the regulatory framework, compliance, innovation, as well as just staying, aware and secure when it comes to mitigating risk? What would be your rousing charge to everyone in this room right now?
Thank you. So it's just like my colleague said, it's in terms of training. And another thing is, let us develop the culture of being compliant. Frameworks are in place to guide us. If you go outside the framework, then there is every possibility for you to fall into a trap. And looking at the last cybersecurity week which we had last month, I think the one for this year had a lot of impact. I mean, compared to other years, because they actually went into the grassroots. People who do not know, okay, my 5-year and my primary, my child as in basic 5 was able to talk to me about cybersecurity, and I was wondering that it simply means a lot of people went to their schools, and that was what really happened, to educate them about cybersecurity. Today, we see children with iPads, and those iPads are connected to the internet. They do not know the kind of danger or exposure that they are being, that they are, I mean, the kind of danger or exposure that they are prone to. But within Cybersecurity Week, I think both regulators, banks, fintechs, they took it upon their shoulders, all stakeholders took it upon their shoulders to ensure that they were able to educate people very well about the importance of cybersecurity. So in essence, the major thing here is collaboration. Stakeholders involving regulators, banks, fintechs, and every other person need to come together and ensure that the resources which we have are harnessed so that we can get to the next level. Thank you.
So much. I really have to express my candid appreciation to everyone here on this stage right now. You've done so much justice to the topic of technology and compliance in advancing clearing and payment platforms. Thank you so much, Abidemi Asumo, Francis Manueke, Ebenezer Kiyemi. Thank you so much for your time. Before we leave, before I let them go, I don't know if we'll have time for just one question. Okay. Can we have someone pass the mic? Okay, Naya. Please, can we pass the mic to, we want to field one question. Or maybe, okay, yes, we can do. And after him, we can have her. Thank you.
So, thank you, panelists. And it's more of a comment, and the question will come after. And it's just a comment about the upgrade. I've been a technical person all my career, and have witnessed so many upgrades. So, like she rightly mentioned, it's something important because we don't upgrade your system, hackers will have understanding and the like, and that upgrade may not be directly on the same core banking solution, it may be a new core banking solution. So, in theory, easier said than done. In theory, you will be hearing things like quality assurance, pilot operation, rollback plans, export of to live, business continuity plan, then training comes in. Now, when you finally go live, most institutions will drop the ball at that point, and the impact will be on the quality of services will be rendering to customers will drop at that point. And that's what we need to look deeply. We need to have plan for the customer. How do we take care of their request? Because the change, we understood there's a change internally. The effect of that change on the customer, we need to prepare for it. And most institutions create what we call war room. Even not at war, that room is called the war room. That means you have all you need in this world in that room to make sure your customer is not impacted as far as your upgrade is concerned. So we need to look deeply into it. Before now, for the legacy system, like she rightly mentioned, it will take 2 days to return my money that will not impact to the final beneficiary. You should still be within that 2 days. Whatever new solution I have, we should use every tool we have, people, technology, anything we have to make sure that the customer experience is concealed. Thank you.
I absolutely agree. Deploy all the soldiers, whatever tactics you need to deploy to the war room to ensure that the customer is least impacted by whatever eventualities might occur. Thank you so much for sharing that thought with us. It's important to upgrade. You cannot say, oh, because you want things to stay the same. The comfort zone is not even a comfort zone anymore. So it's important that we continue to carry out upgrades. Thank you so much. Let's now hear from you, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. And I'm also so concerned that I hope most of us will take so much home because I hear noise at the back. So it seems we are just talking to the very few. And I will advise the coordinator create a better environment in future. First, mine is an advice taking forward the discussion today. And I'm so happy that the speaker made mention of support from the regulator in terms of seeking approval for new technology or new product deployment. I think strong and great relationship, but the gap is that banks or the fintechs don't come in good time. So you want to deploy next week and you're sending an approval letter to the CBN. I would also like to announce that the CBN has commenced the regulatory sandbox. So even when you're not sure of the product, you can come into the sandbox environment. And as you're working, you're also processing the approval. That way, time to market would be reduced. Then there is also need to focus more on several tools, both reconciliation, behavioral monitoring tools, because I can see we have so many ideas, but how well have we deployed or put that into use in safeguarding the ecosystem? You find same fraud or same fraudster hitting different banks. You find a fraud happening in a system or a bank for a very long period of time. But if we have a behavioral monitoring tool, I don't know. I remember in those days we used to have what we call end of day, end of week, month. That should trigger an unusual behavior that should help us on anything that will lead to fraud. And finally, this is a take back for us. Should we engage the ISO certification company? If we can classify this, I think this also goes to my IT. If we can classify it under shared services, because why the bigger banks can afford the cost attached or to enable you become certified, I think there is challenge with the smaller fintech. Unfortunately, because of what you call it, interoperability, if one is not fully secured, he can be, what do you call it? If an intruder and get through the unsecured one. So I think it's a take back for us. We can discuss that at CV level and see how best we can manage it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for finally highlighting the need for robust systems across board so that we don't leave any systems porous. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. And on this note, I would like us to put our hands together as we appreciate all the brilliant panelists who have been on the panel session today. Abidemi Asumo from e-business and transaction banking, Francis Madueke from technology, and Ebenezer Akinyemi from Fintech Partnership. Thank you so much. And as they leave the stage, please keep the applause going. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's up. Group 1 to 5, please get your presentations ready. For the presentation, you have 4 minutes each for the presentation, please. I would like to appeal to us to keep to the time for the presentation, please. So groups 1 to 5 will be coming to do presentation, the breakout presentation. So as I mention your name, please proceed. Let's have group 1, the very first group, ably represented and led by John Olofin-Lade. John, let's make it up for John Olofin-Lade, please. John, please, this is your moment. Your 4 minutes starts counting. Put your hands together for John as he walks majestically. All right, please, less noise so we pay attention.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Just 4 minutes, so I will just speak without this slide. Okay? Yes. The topic for us was A2A payments. And like I told them in my group, if the only thing you do as a banker for now is clearing, and you don't understand what happens in the other departments, then that is not good enough. Like someone said, there was a time where there was a clearing house, but we all know what is happening today. There's no clearing house anymore. A lot of people have lost their job, but those that will move on. So now talking about A2A payments. What is A2A payments? Account to account payments. Currently, now, if I want to do a transfer across bank, of course, we all know that for transfers, there is the payment processors, which is InterSwitch, e-transact, Flutterwave, depending on the type of payment you are doing. But if I want to do transfer within my bank, I don't need any processor. So if I ask the question, if I want to do a transfer within my bank to myself, the speed, security, and convenience is there, isn't it? So imagine you are doing the transfer from a signature bank to a GTB with the same mechanism, with the same platform you use for doing transfer within your bank. So if I ask, which one will you pick? Which one will you select? That is the future of banking. That is the future of payments. Where you can do transfer without Flutterwave, you can do transfer within banks without e-transact, without any payment switch. Now, if you ask me, how is that possible? Yes, it is possible. Because we already have something like that. Now, if I want to clear checks, do I need any payment processor? If I want to clear checks, I just need a platform, the NAX platform. That is what I need to clear my checks. Isn't it? I don't need any payment processor. I just need
the regulators which we talking about needs, I just need them to clear my checks for me. Now, if I want to RTGS, which process am I using for RTGS? There's no processor, it's just within banks. So what A2A is saying is doing transfer from one account to another account to another bank as if you are doing transfer within bank. Take for example, if you are doing merchant payment, for example now, settlement takes how many days? Almost 2 days. But imagine I'm a merchant, I sell car, and or maybe no, I have a filling station and I have POS, and I'm getting instant value. For those of us that don't know, the likes of Money Point, they designed something that makes it easy for the merchant. That's why you see that as a bank, we are losing most of our customers to this fintech because they have gone ahead of us. So the question we are asking today, because I'm so dropping this mic, is A2A payment possible? And it will only be possible if the banks are ready to work together, if the banks are ready to share data, if the banks can trust each other. Because what you discover is banks don't want to share information because they feel that, oh, we are competitors. So it is high time we move from competing to collaborating. And if we can do that, then we can achieve this A2A payment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, for keeping to time. Thank you. A round of applause for John once again. Thank you. All right, coming up next for Group 2, Toyo C. Phillips. Make it up for Toyo C. Phillips. Toyo C, please, 4 minutes. Thank you.
But you know I'm a woman, though. So I'm talking. No, let's make it fast. Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols duly observed. Good afternoon, everyone. As I said, my name is Philip Toyosi, all the way from First Bank of Nigeria Limited. And I'm here to speak on financial fraud detection and prevention. Now, what is financial fraud? Financial, money, fraud, I've come to steal it from you. So financial fraud is just like somebody coming to steal your money. It could be money, it could be emotions, it could be intelligence, it could be anything. Fraud, I've come to steal it. It's not my own, but I'm coming to steal it. Now, another thing we need to know is financial fraud is when someone uses deception or criminal activity to steal money or other assets from you. And that is why we have more of this mobile fraud now. They can just swap your WhatsApp and all that, and they start requesting from the people on your phone directories, and please send this, please send that. They are all frauds in different means. Now, the main cause of financial fraud is usually unshareable financial needs on the part of the fraud perpetrator. For anybody to come and say, I want to steal from you, I want to collect that thing, it does not belong to me. And most times, it's usually money. So we should have that at the back of our mind. Now, another thing we need to know is the key motive of financial fraud is the need for money. So we need to know that quite very well. Now, why are we talking about this? We all work in the bank. We deal with money, either the physical cash or the paper one. We deal with money. And most of us deal with the net the NAVs, the check transactions. So a whole lot of money passes through us, even though we don't see them with our physical eye. Now, what are the causes of financial fraud? I won't be going through all these, but I will only say the ones that might actually go with us with the kind of profession that we do. Now, greed, living above your earnings. If I like what Mr. A is wearing, but my financial capacity does not buy what Mr. A is wearing, it's greed. And that's the negative one. And all I'll think of is how I steal or how I take what belongs to Mr. A. That's great, and it's not good. The other one is living above your head. We most times, and most of us, we have an example of this at our different places of work. You know, my take home at the end of the month is 10 naira, but the clothes, the food, the car I'm driving is 100 naira. How do I get it? Where am I getting it from? I need to be checked. So when you're living above your means, it's a red flag for the people working around you to look at. Then another thing is lack of internal control unit checks on staffs. For the internal control staffs that are here, we need you to be more up and going. You've been doing great job. I have to give it to you guys. But when the internal control are not doing what they are supposed to do at the right time. While I was making this discussion in my group, I made them to understand that as professionals, we are thinking, but those guys outside there, they are thinking. While we are sleeping, they are thinking of how to steal from the bank, how to steal from the individual. So our internal control guys need to sit down at every now and then, looking out for means, looking out for ways to take any fraud, anything that will make the bank lose money. They have to be on top of that. Then another thing is lack of anti-money laundering. These are times happen in the branches. When you tell a teller, okay, maximum deposit you have on this is 5,000 naira, and the teller will just say, okay, don't worry, Oga, I will help you to pay it to another account. Will not transfer it. You don't know where that money is coming from. You're encouraging that customer for anti-money laundering, and these are what they are causes of financial fraud. Now let me go to the now. How do we prevent financial fraud? KYC, KYS, know your customers. So for those of us on the customer service table, please let all to be done. The bank has said this is how you should do it. Please do it that way so that we don't lose any money. Those guys are out there and they want to take everything. And I believe we don't want to lose our source of income to them. Another thing is know your customers. Know your staff. I mean, my take home is 10 naira. If I'm beginning to spend 13 naira, 15 naira, you should suspect me. I'm a threat to you. I'm a threat to the unit. I'm a threat to the organization. So know your customer. For the head of unit, the group head, know your staff. You need to know us. Check us on WhatsApp group. If I'm doing what is not expected, start expecting me. Don't trust anybody. Clean tables. I shouldn't be doing customer transactions and I'm gisting with my colleague. I should not trust you to that extent. You could be a thief and I don't know. You could be trying to get my password to steal and I don't know. So clean tables should be done. Then another thing is daily proving of GL accounts. We shouldn't leave our accounts not balanced. You balance your account. When it's not balanced, do a proper reconciliation. Then the last one is audit check. Internal audit, internal control, compliance, everybody, all that should be on deck. And we should also make sure that we are versatile with the technologies outside. Those guys out there, they are up and doing. We should not be sleeping. So I believe when we have all these done together, you know your customer, you know your staff, GL proving, internal control checks, up-to-date applications on our system, to authentications, everything is up and going. I want to believe with that, we'll have a good...
All right, thank you so much, Toyosi Phillips. Thank you, you ate into our time. Thank you. And the next is group 3, Akin Bayowa, Akin Rilola. Please, for 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Akin.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. As I have been, eloquently introduced, my name is Akin Bayowa from First Bank Nigeria, and I'll be representing Group 3. Very quickly, our topic is digital transformation in financial services, the lessons learned. First of all, what is digital transformation? Digital transformation speaks to the business strategy that incorporates digital technology into all areas of any organization. Now, bringing that into finances, it has to do with taking digital technology and incorporating it into our processes that has to do with all our transactions and everything we do as financial institutions and as a bank. We know that, of course, before the advent of digital technology, the way we've been doing, especially clearing now, we'd have to gather around, take the physical checks and exchange in a central location. And trust me, that must have been very tedious. I wasn't around there, so I can't tell you that this was what they did. I think I'm happy to be a Gen Z for that. Anyways, thank God for digital technology. Now we have the truncation process, and our turnaround time now is T+1, which makes things very fast, very easy for customers. Customers receive their payments almost instantly with the advent of NIP and the like. It is not doubt that digital transformation has definitely had its benefits when it comes to financial institutions and financial services as a whole. I will list out some of the benefits that we've been able to identify as a group. We have enhanced customer experience. Because of digital technology, we can personalize customer needs, and we can also make things convenient. Because of digital, everybody has phones, even the organizers, the market traders, everybody has an Android phone at least. Even if you don't have an Android phone, you can do your USSD to make your transactions. You can go to, say, a tomato seller and say, I want to make a transaction. I don't have cash on me. Everybody's changing, and this is because of digital transformation. Another thing is data-driven decision making. It is not that because of the increased speed in transaction, the increase in volume of transactions, we have a lot of data that we've been able to gather and collect based on each customer and the way they transact. Now we can, because of different technologies and stuff, we can gather data and say, okay, this is how so person makes the transaction. You can just pull history, and then you can recommend certain services to certain individuals, certain companies, and say, would you try this? Would you try that? Just to improve their needs and just to meet them at in where they need whatever services that they need. Then we have customer centricity. We've been able to realize that digital solutions matter most to the customers, because of course without the customers we are nothing. We can't do anything without the customers. So customer centricity is very, very important. Then agility, when it comes to lessons that is being learned now. The lesson that we learned from the advent of digital, transformation is that cybersecurity is very important. Even we will not be able to neglect the fact that because we are innovating, we are changing, our system. We should also be mindful about cybersecurity, because even as we as financial institutions are innovating, are evolving, so our fraudsters. there are a lot of people out there that are just waiting to perch on loopholes that are in a lot of systems that we use to operate to provide these financial services. Legacy systems pose challenges. I mean, there's no doubt that as time changes, as technology becomes more advanced, we also need to, improve on our technologies that we use in our various institutions. I mean, of banks that have been having to upgrade their systems just to meet up and catch up with the speed of these financial services. I think another important thing that we have to learn is that collaboration is key. Because of the speed and the way we do things now, there's also room for error. And then we need to be able to reach out to, say, another bank. Hello, there was something that happened. When we send mails, we can also be able to reach out to them. And that's one thing that we learned, that collaboration is very vital so that we can solve this, we can make resolutions to issues that we have timely. And I think that is one important thing that I would like us all to just note and take out of here. Collaboration, we should be able to, collaborate with each other, with banks, and other financial institutions even as well, to say, hey, help me with this, I made this, I dropped the ball in this situation, this is what happened, and then the other person at the other desk should be able to know what to do and be able to respond timely. And I think that is very important. So in summary, we know that digital transformation has been very, very helpful in our industry. It has been amazing. And of course, we should also try to improve our systems individually. And another thing that I will implore all banks to do is ensure that you upskill your staff. Make them be more aware of the new innovations in Go, and individually too, we can learn about things like data analysis. We have the instruments like Power BI, we have SQL. Just train yourself on these things, and we're all good to go. Very good to go. Thank you very, very much.
All right, thank you so much, Akim, by your work. Thank you for being sweet in your presentation. Next is Group 4. Patrick George, where are you? Just before that, please pay attention. Please pay attention. If you are the owner of the car with the plate number LSD 733HY, will you please move your vehicle? Your attention is needed. Thank you. All right, Patrick George, it's your moment.
Good evening. Excuse me. Hello, good evening. Thank you. All right, quickly, we're going to talk about the involving financial security, but really majoring on how to address it. All right, please, can we move on the slide? Please move on. Okay, we all know that currently transactions are moving at a high speed. Transactions are moving at a high speed, and so we indeed need to catch up with that movement, especially with how to engage the fraudsters on their aid. We must be able to do much more than they are doing. Come on, please. Please, can you begin the slides? All right, we already know what digital transactions are. It's about the fast movement and the best way to engage in transaction in modern day as against the mundane process that we used to engage in. Right now, everything is on the go. This is what is expected in the modern day business. Can we move on, please? Please move on, because I want to get to the solutions. We all know the benefits. The benefits are very convenient banking, quick and accessible. That's what customers demand for right now. Please, I'd like us to move on. I want to major on the issue and solution. Fraud is already known as the bad people trying to take what is not theirs. We are bankers and we cannot engage in that. And we must find ways to them in this business. These are all types of fraud that must not be allowed